What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to talk about how I plan to manage my $20,000 plus portfolio in 2025 and gain at least 50%, if not more. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. So the strategy is going to be simple. It's going to be similar to everything we've discussed on this channel, starting off with selling options on powerful names during earnings because premiums are inflated. Obviously, we're already in one of the plays, being SoFi, which, I just think is going to be a great play. Let's just pull up the chart on the left side here. Ultimately, right, keeping it simple in the sense of, we're selling puts with our strike and break even being here below powerful levels, giving us the optimal chance to not get assigned and just collect premium. However, we're doing it on strong names, so if we do get assigned, it is not the biggest deal. Now, why is it so important to do it on strong names? Because if you've been with me since the beginning, you would know that I made a huge mistake with RGTI, and that only came from not having confidence, right? I took this play up here, got out down here, everything could have went wrong, right? And that's why, it's funny enough, our account isn't at, 25, 30,000 was that play and Connell. But the point I'm getting at, it's not that I'm so upset that I made this mistake on RGTI. It's the simple fact that, what caused it, right? If you want to learn as a trader, sometimes you have to remove yourself from the result and just move yourself to the process. And the process is the simple fact that with RGTI, I had no reason to believe in it. So when it dumped, I panicked, right? And it's that simple. If you stick to powerful names that you truly believe in, you'll have no reason to really ever panic. So Connell, Connell is a stock that we've been involved in for months, right? And this is a play we've been in. Now, the mistake I've made here is just oversizing, because having 18,000 in any individual stock, if we're going to be putting 18,000 of a $20,000 account in individual names, it should be like the NASDAQ, right? Putting it in an individual stock, it's not even the biggest deal in the world because Coinbase is one of my favorite stocks. But the simple fact is they do not have weekly expirations, which has caused a huge headache for this position. So, oversizing into a position without making sure there was weekly expirations, it's just a mistake that I've made in 2024 that I've carried into 2025, and it is not part of the 2025 strategy. Part of the 2025 strategy is really focusing on a name like TQQQ, which is the NASDAQ times by 3, and ultimately looking to sell weeklies with a large portion of our account. Maybe, if we're doing 86 puts, then, we're using 16,000. And that would also free up 5,000, 6,000. Obviously, as the account grows, everything will compound. But the point is, it'll allow me to really never be stressed compared to some of the stress I've had throughout some of the days on this channel. And if you've been with me from the beginning, you've seen it, you've witnessed it. I've kept everything transparent. And, ultimately, it's been a hell of a ride. Now, with that being said, had I not made some of those mistakes, we'd be well past 25. But again, it's not about the mistakes. It's about what caused the mistakes. And the only answer is just, it was just truly not believing in every stock we were selling options on, getting blinded by big premiums, and ultimately when things finally did go south, it led to the panic. So ultimately the strategy is very simple, right? It's keeping it to good names, keeping the puts below strong levels. Now when it comes to the charting, right, it's also very simple. So, on this channel we've done a lot of crypto stocks, and I don't see that changing, right? Maybe we'll slow down with the crypto, but I do always see us coming in and out of crypto stocks when it comes to premiums. One of the best things to look into, right, is if Bitcoin is showing relative strength to the NASDAQ. So what do we have here? We have the daily chart on NASDAQ, and let's change this to the daily, right? When you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin looks like it's absolutely ready to fly up. And you look at the NASDAQ, it looks like it's potentially going to, reject. Now, if it rejects, okay, yes, Bitcoin will by default come back down. But if this can flip into a bullish, if we go on a smaller time frame, it still looks very bearish, right? NASDAQ is getting crushed, yet Bitcoin is still going up and holding its own. So ultimately, you could do this with any sector, but I know a lot of us are selling options on crypto, and I think this is just the number one thing to look at is NASDAQ versus Bitcoin. Like right now, I'm not necessarily saying right now is a great time to buy crypto. It's really just the simple fact that seeing the NASDAQ get beat up while Bitcoin's holding, it can give you more confidence in crypto. And you can do this again with any sector, just seeing the relative strength and relative weakness to the NASDAQ. And you can do this with any individual stock as well, not just a sector. But, you know, a name like Baba, seeing that it's strong right now while the Nasdaq is falling, will make you believe that when the Nasdaq recovers, you know, it will continue to recover at a very fast pace. Facebook, great example. PayPal, not a great example, right? This doesn't look like such a strong chart. And if the Nasdaq keeps falling, this will probably continue to fall. You know, United, you know, it's been falling. Now, ultimately, it might have finally found a zone. The point is, the charting is not really what we focus on this channel. But to keep it as simple as possible, you know, relative strength and relative weakness is what we really consider. So, you know, with crypto, the best way to do it is Bitcoin. And then if you're going to do altcoins, it's the same concept, right? You want to see altcoins that look like they're moving faster than Bitcoin. Otherwise, there's no point in doing altcoins, right? You might as well just stick to Bitcoin. So, again, these are all the strategies that we're using, right? Conal, ultimately, our strike is 45. Now, this is another important factor to consider with the 2025 strategy is we're not looking at the play, we're looking at where the play stands. So right now we still have 2,000 to collect in premium. Ultimately, right, let's just say I wanted to get rid of that money and use it all for TQQQ. You know, I can collect, let's just say this one, 212, again, you know, 16,000. Now, I'd still be able to keep, what, one of my Conal contracts open, but I'd be collecting, what did I do? Ultimately, I'd be collecting 456 a week, and I'd still be able to keep one of the Conal contracts open. So, again, the point really is that, you know, you shouldn't get necessarily so obsessed with the position, but what is going on in the moment. So, in the moment, I think it's still worth keeping this open just because of seeing how Conal has moved, how Bitcoin has moved relative to the Nasdaq. But overall, you know, just different mindset shifts going into 2025 is, you know, how I plan to use the strategy. So, you know, I really try to keep it very simple with you guys. Obviously, we have a lot of big names coming up with earnings this upcoming week, so it should be a very, very interesting week. Let me know what you guys are going to be doing. Let me know what plays you're going to be taking, which earnings, which stocks you're looking at. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't learn, right, if you don't feel like you fully understand the 2025 strategy, you know, I try to keep it short and concise, but make sure to just tune in, right, and just watch, because I'm keeping every trade documented, right? I haven't taken a single trade since November 6th that I haven't posted on this channel, and I'm going to continue that throughout all of 2025. So if you want to see what happens with this account, where we take it, right, we've already taken it to 25, back to 17, back to 21.5, and I truly just see this getting well past 30,000, well past 40,000 over the next 1 to 2 years. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.